Drop what you do in YouTube. It's your boy, Thick Yoda. And we back with actually a semi-requested video on usering help. All right, so this video is gonna be all about usering on defense, what to look for, what to do, who you should be usering, all that good stuff, how to do it. First thing you're gonna do, go to settings. It's not even a game mode, just go to settings, right? You can go to the settings inside your game mode as well. You wanna go to game options here. And the big thing here is go to gameplay helpers, and you want defensive Ballhawk on, okay? These other ones do not matter. Ballhawk has to be on, okay? That's gonna be the one, that's gonna help you time your picks and help you get some of those crazy jumping animations and stuff like that. So once that's on, you're ready to go. All right, so we're gonna hop into a practice mode. All right, Thick Yoda here with a little interruption while I'm editing. I'm gonna have timestamps for each different part that I'm going over. I separate each important aspect of usering into its own part, and there will be timestamps for each part. Just look down below. All right, check the comments, check the description. All right, back to the video. All right, so we are in practice mode, and I got one controller on offense, and I got one controller on defense. The first thing you wanna look at is who are you gonna be using, right? So if you're in 4-3, something like that, and you got 3 linebackers on the field, maybe you'll be using one of the linebackers, or if you're in like a cover 3 look and you have a safety in the box, you'll be using a safety. But the question is, who do you want to use her, right? Madden 21 is actually different from previous Maddens in that linebackers do not get the same jumping animations as defensive backs do, unless those linebackers have lurker as an ability, right? So I think like Levante David has lurker. I'm trying to remember if any other linebackers like in franchise or in regs have it, and I don't remember. I don't play much regs. As an ultimate team, right? You can see my other videos. I almost exclusively user defensive backs, right? I don't have to waste 2 ability points on a linebacker to make sure that they're getting those animations. I'd rather just use a safety, right? It makes it a lot easier. So you want to go with speed. Obviously, is important. If you're using someone like Alex Anzalone here, he's not that fast, right? So you're gonna have a hard time, keeping up with receivers who are running slants and crossing patterns and posts and streaks and all that stuff, or running backs. You're not gonna be able to keep up with them if you're not fast enough. Another big thing is agility and change of direction. You want high agility, high change of direction. I can't sit here and tell you which one is more important and for why. I don't know. The general rule is, right, you want higher agility, higher change of direction. But that's kind of what you want to look for, is how quickly can you, zoom around the field, basically, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be zooming around the field. And then another thing that matters is height and jumping, right? If you got a 6'5" safety with 99 jump, right, you're going to be picking off balls 10 feet in the air. Whereas if you're using with someone who's 5'9" and has 80 jumping, you're barely going to get 7 feet off the ground. So if you wanted to use a linebacker and you wanted to stay in 4-3 for whatever reason, right, take out Alex Anzalone, put in Quan Alexander. This dude is fast. He's really, really fast, all right? I generally like to stay at a big nickel or a normal nickel or something like that, where you can sub in safeties at linebacker here, right? So what I'd do is I'd probably put cornerback here in the slot, and then I'd swap out Anzalone here for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's a strong safety. He's pretty quick, has relatively good agility, right? And that'll allow me to kind of be able to cover things a little bit better. The first thing you want to look for when you're usering is when you have your defense set up, right? So I'm in stock cover 2 right now, is what is your responsibility? What's being left open, right? So imagine your player didn't exist. What's getting left open, okay? So right here in this, it's the middle of the field, right? It's just the dead middle vertical, middle shallow, middle everything, right? So that's your responsibility. However, if we did something like, if we flipped, right, this guy, I don't know why he's not coming over here, but as you can see, he's playing the vertical hook, so he should be over here, right? You put Demario Davis in a middle third, right? So now you got the deep middle covered, and now if you're using this guy, you have this middle left and this middle center. Right, that's going to be easier to user, is middle left and middle center, than middle center and middle deep. All right, that's just going to be easier to user. Another thing you could do, right, is if you're really even worried about that, is take one of your D linemen, put him in a vertical hook, So you can see I put the left end here in a vertical hook, and now all I have to worry about is the middle, right? I can do middle, and if he runs like, short curl, I can cover short because I know there's a linebacker who's gonna have over top, and I don't have to worry about leaving other things open as much. Your job as a user is to make it as difficult as possible for your opponent to find a read. And if they make a mistake, you have to be there to punish them, okay? Before we even get into any of this, what should your user be on? You see how my user is on a blitz, okay? That's for a very specific reason, okay? For whatever reason, when they change the lurking mechanics between Madden 20 and Madden 21, they made it so that you actually get a change of direction penalty if you're not on a blitz or in a QB spy. So that's why you'll see I will always have my user in a blitz or in a QB spy. Your player will actually turn their hips 50% faster than if you actually left him in, the hook that he was in, okay? Or the whatever route he's supposed to cover. Whoever you are on, make sure that they are in a blitz or a QB spy before the offense snaps the ball, okay? It doesn't mean you have to blitz, right? Obviously, I'll put my guy in a blitz. I'm still going to be covering, and I'll still be able to get interceptions and do all that stuff. It doesn't change anything except for your ability to change direction. That's it, okay? Don't ask me why they did it, but they did. And the second thing is, right, you have to put your user in a blitz, and the second thing is, how do you actually intercept the ball, okay? In older Maddens, you click triangle or Y as the ball came to you, and your player would jump and try to catch it, right? That was it. That's not how it happens anymore. This is why we have Ballhawk on, okay? That means when the quarterback throws the ball, click and hold Y. Doesn't matter where you are, all right? After the quarterback throws the ball, click and hold Y. And if your player has a chance to be anywhere near the ball, they will try to jump for it, okay? So just to watch this in action, and I will hold my controller out so that you can watch, all right? Let me get in a suitable position so you can watch me hold Y as, he throws the ball, all right? I'm gonna move Baby Yoda out of the way, all right? So you guys can see this, all right? Let me snap the ball, let me get on my user real quick. I gotta make sure you're on your user. All right, snap the ball. Oh, we're missing it. All right, we're back. We're gonna bullet it and holding Y now, and see how we tried to jump for it? That's all you gotta do. I don't know if that was difficult or easy to see, but you just gotta hold Y once the ball's in the air. If you press Y too early, right, if you press Y before the quarterback has thrown the ball, you'll get a bad timing ball hawk, all right? That's what you're gonna get, and your opponent, your player will still jump for it, but he'll likely drop it, all right? And if you press and hold it too late, like you wait to press it until the ball's already almost there, right? You might not even get a jumping animation, all right? So once the quarterback throws the ball is in the air, press and hold Y, and keep running around. Keep doing whatever you're doing, just while holding Y, all right? Out of this defense, we can actually cover. We can actually cover two of the three routes, right? The cloud flat will cover the flat route by Aussie, right? He's on that little flat route. Bird on the streak will be covered by this deep free safety and this linebacker who's going to play deep, which only leaves one route to cover, right? We can even put Davenport back on the rush, and we only have one route to cover, all right? And it's Harry's crosser, all right? So as you can see, if we snap this ball, we got one route to cover, and that's Harry on the crosser, all right? Obviously, you're not going to know what play your opponent's running in advance. You'll have to diagnose it as the play happens. But you can kind of get a sense for your opponent's tendencies, and that's important, to get your opponent's tendencies. Are they trying to go for crossers? Are they trying to go for curls? Are they trying to go for flat routes to the running back, right? That's all part of the game, right? So if we snap the ball with Cam here, right, we're Gardner Johnson, right? We're covering the one route. There's one route that's open. That's all we have to cover, okay? That's the simplest type of usering there is. So that's usering one route, right? One route is open. You only have to worry about one route. So what happens if we run a different play, okay? What happens if we ran the same play, but instead we had Aussie on a slant here, right? We have a play like this. This is actually pretty common. Usually it's more run like this, where where you have Asias and Bird switched, or Asias, the tight end, on the streak and Bird on the slant, so that you can motion slant him and get that timing a little bit better. But this is pretty common, right? Previous Maddens, you would have seen this a lot, right? So if let's switch back to cover 2. We're going to switch back to cover 2 here. Flip the play. All right, unflip the play. All right, we're going to stick in cover 2 here. And you know, we have Davis here in our middle third, nothing special. We have to user the middle of the field and the middle right of the field, right? That's our spot we generally have to cover. So what we're going to do here is, you'll see, is that you start with the underneath and you move to the over, okay? Or you start from the over and move to the under, okay? But the general strategy is you have to cover one route at all times, okay? Never cover no routes. You see one thing open this way and you see another thing open that way, don't just get caught in the middle, because then you're leaving both of them open, right? Your opponent doesn't even have to make a read, right? They don't have to go through the reads and find out which one's open, because there are 2 guys open. They'll probably see one of them, right? But if you cover one of them, they might not see the other one that's open, okay? So something like this, right? Let's snap the ball. We're covering the slant. We move up to the crosser, and now nothing's open. Nothing was open, okay? But if we hadn't covered that slant early, the slant would have been open early. If we hadn't covered the crosser late, the crosser would have been open late, okay? So that's how you move from one level to the next, okay? And then the last thing is, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to show this, but it's baiting your opponent, okay? How do you bait your opponent? This is gonna be extremely difficult to show, and I'm going to try to show it nonetheless. All right, I don't know why I'm trying to show it, but I am. So don't worry about the defense, all right? We're just gonna be focusing on how to bait your opponent, right? Baiting can happen in multiple ways, right? Baiting can be you pretending to cover the slant, and then right as the crosser comes open, you move to the crosser. Or maybe a drag and a curl are open, and you cover the curl, and then you pretend to go to the drag, so you'll throw to the curl, and then you go back to the curl, right? That's about reading your opponent and kind of, you got to get lucky a little bit, right, to throw that where you were going to cover, right? It's basically a gamble. If they're going to throw to one of 2 things and you have the opportunity to cover both, they're going to try to throw to the one that they don't think you're going to cover. So if you pretend like you're going to cover one thing and then you cover the other thing, right, they'll throw it at you and you can get that. We're going to switch to different plays. We're going to switch to Z spot, put Harry in a drag. Right, we'll just have these 3 routes. And then on defense, we're going to switch back into, cover 2, standard thing. We have the way we generally have it set up. We got a deep third. We're using Gardner Johnson here. And this is our area of the field. But as you can see, right, based on the play art, what are we going to have to cover? We're going to have to cover the curl that Bird is on, right? That's the spot route. And the drag that Harry's on, right? Because once that drag clears this vert hook and gets to the middle of the field, it's going to be wide open, all right? We have the cloud flat here on the right playing the corner route, right? He's playing the corner route. Let's switch back to CJ Gardner-Johnson, right? So the corner route will be covered by the cloud, and now there are 2 routes, and we got to cover both of them, right? And this is where baiting will come in handy. All right, I'm not going to even pretend to try to throw this. I'm just going to be usering. All right, so you can see it. So let's snap the ball. Right, we're covering the spot. We switch it and we come back. That's it. That's how baiting works. All right, we'll show you the instant replay so I can, just reiterate it into your heads. But watch. All right, we'll put the thing over my user. Right, we got the spot route. We're covering that. All right, we're covering that. If he threw the spot route, we would intercept it. But the drag's wide open. So we're going to pretend to go to the drag, because he, as the opponent, he's thinking, I'm not going to throw the drag right now. If I throw the drag right now, he might intercept it. I'll wait to throw the drag until the drag gets past his user. Then I'll know that something is open, all right? He's going to wait as long as he can to make a read, so he's more likely to make the correct read, right? So right here, you go here. Right, you pretend to cover the drag, but you see how he's flipping his hips? He's not flipping his hips, right? He's turning without flipping his hips. That's important. That's the easiest way to make a circle. That's the easiest way to change direction is to not have to plant your feet and move your hips, right? Run in that circle, I promise you it's faster, right? So at this point, the way you're gonna be forcing the read is that the pass rush is eventually gonna get home, right? If he's given all day in the pocket, he doesn't have to make this decision. He can just wait till right here, he sees the drag is open, he'll throw the drag, right? But, right, the pass rush is here. He has to make that decision a little sooner. If the pass rush is here, he knows that he's got to make that throw right now, right? If he's trying to make that throw right now, where is he going to try to throw? If he's making that throw right now, he's going to try to throw to the curl because he sees you running to the drag, right? But you were never going to cover the drag, right? You were coming back just so you could come back and cover the spot route, the curl, the button hook, all right? And that's how you bait. If he throws the drag, fine. He throws that drag, he drags open, he catches it, he takes it for 10 yards, the cloud flat comes, makes a tackle, he gets 10 yards, all right, he got 10 yards, no worries. But you're giving yourself a really good opportunity to get a pick. So that's it. That's all I wanted to cover was those few points, all right? Just to reiterate them again, that's ball hawk has to be on. How do you ball hawk? You hold Y when the ball's in the air. Hold it while you're doing everything else. You hold it while you sprint, you hold it while you run. You can change direction while holding it. Just hold it. Just hold it while the ball's in the air, right? Don't press it until the ball's in the air, but hold it while the ball's in the air, all right? Make sure that your user is on a blitz or a QB spy, all right? You don't have to play it, right? Just because your player says that it's on a blitz doesn't mean you actually have to blitz, right? You can still play coverage, but you need to do that if you want to have the best change of direction. Use a safety or a cornerback, some kind of DB over a linebacker if the linebacker doesn't have lurker. Speed, agility matters. DBs have better speed, better agility generally, and they will also jump better for the ball. That's just a Madden 21 thing, all right? The days of Ryan Shazier and Anthony Barr at 6'5" picking balls off that were 10 feet in the air from the line of scrimmage, like those days are over, all right? Those days are over. Put lurker on that linebacker. You have to put lurker on Anthony Barr or user a safety, they'll jump. Or a cornerback, they'll jump, all right? So those are the things you do before you have the play set up, right? And the last thing you would do before you have the play set up is number 5, is know where you have to cover. You have to know what is probably going to be open before your opponent even snaps. The more pressure you put on your own user, the more you can use the rest of your defenders to cover everything else. And vice versa. The less responsibility you give to your user, the more responsibility your teammates will have to make up for it, right? And those are CPU players. So who do you trust? So that's before the ball's even been snapped. Once the ball is snapped, identify the routes. You have to. You got to look at all of them. If you can't look at all of them, look at just the ones in the areas that are near you, okay? If that's all you can handle and that's all you can worry about. Go from one route to another. Always make sure you're covering a route. Even if 3 routes are open, cover one of them. Maybe your opponent will be dumb and throw it to you, all right? But make them have as difficult of a time as possible. Go from high to low. Prioritize high to low, all right? If you have to choose between leaving a crosser open or leaving a drag open, leave the drag open. Cover the crosser, all right? That seems pretty intuitive, but that also comes with baiting your opponent. Right? Quarterback is scrambling out and you're the only one who can stop him from getting the first down, but it means that you have to leave a 20-yard route downfield open. Don't do it. Maybe you bait your opponent, right? You start coming down, but you come back up, but you have to cover that deeper route. Give them the first down. Give them the 5 yards. Give them the 10 yards. Give them the 15. Don't let them have the 20, 25, 30. Because I guarantee you, they are reading you. They are looking to see what you're doing. So if you come down to play the quarterback, they will immediately throw the ball right over your head for 30 yards, okay? We talked about baiting, one route to another that are, that kind of overlap, right? Like a curl and a drag, or sometimes that's a slant and a curl. Oftentimes there's a curl in there somewhere. And that's really the fundamentals, all right? I will throw a few clips of me usering. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. Down below, I will pin a comment at the top of a video that has some cool plays, but most of them are just usering plays, all right? Plays where I'm usering on defense. The first couple are on offense. The rest of them are just me usering on defense and getting picks, okay? If you want more help, study those. Watch the decisions that I'm actually making with my user. That's important. It's not just having stick skill and pressing the buttons at the right time. It's about reading your opponent. It's about making decisions, prioritizing one thing over another, all right? It's about making baits, right? Throwing out some bait just so you can catch the fish, all right? That's it. That's all I've got. If you have any more questions about usering or anything related to Madden, throw them in the comments so I know what videos I need to make in the future for you guys, okay? Let me know. So that's it. That's all I got. This has been Thick Yoda. Peace.